You edited it, I presume? Did you even start the edit?
No.
Okay.
I worked until midnight Friday. I worked 8 hours on Saturday until we went to go see the movie. And I worked from 10 a.m. Sunday until 5 p.m. yesterday. I did not sleep on Sunday night. And then I worked all day yesterday until D&D, and that was like my break.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
To be clear, I'm not actually trying to...
I have not had time. I will edit it. I will edit it this week before I leave for vacation, and I'm just going to backdate it to make it look like it was released today.
Sure.
So,
do we want to put it at the beginning, the end, or do we want to do like the typical podcast thing and put it in the middle, have our first mid-episode?
It could be a mid-roll.
A mid-roll.
I really don't want to do mid-roll.
Okay, so beginning or end.
Okay.
You're editing.
This feels more like a beginning thing.
Okay.
To me.
Cool.
Now, now, when you say that, are we trying to make this seem like it just sort of flows, like we recorded it then? Or is this going to be like a, hey, quick announcement, and then episode?
So we have had this thing for 60 episodes of riffing, and then the episode begins, and then we riff at the end.
Yeah.
And I like the riffs, and making that something like official feels weird.
Yeah.
But also doing a mid-roll with something quote-unquote official also feels weird. So I don't honestly know where to put something that feels kind of official, because we've never done anything that feels kind of official, like podcast stuff.
I'm going to try and...
just do it casual, so then you can figure it out later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have that open, Hans?
I do.
Okay, cool.
Good.
Yeah. So here's something funny.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's
the three of us. The three of us have been. We've been almost entirely ignoring the Patreon just because it was a joke, right?
Yeah.
We thought it was funny to talk about how we didn't have one.
Still is.
And then we thought it was funny to make one with really funny tiers.
Yeah. If you go back if you go back and listen, like if you haven't been listening as these episodes came out, if you go back, you might think we started this Patreon like 5 episodes in, or even like I think in the first episode we mentioned a Patreon. This Patreon didn't exist for like the first 40 episodes, to be clear. And even when it did exist, it was a joke.
Because it was a joke. It was just a joke. And then even once we made it, it was still a joke. And a couple of our friends signed up because it was funny, because it's only $1.
It's for everything.
For everything, just not plus.
Just not plus. Don't get any plus.
Last week, us three jokers made an impression on someone out there in the world,
a real human
who signed up for our Patreon and commented on our stupid video. And we just want to say a heartfelt thank you
from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, kind stranger.
It's so funny to me that drinking the Steven Seagal energy drink was like the thing that actually pushed a real human stranger over the edge and was like, I need to financially support this project. That's great. That's you chose the perfect entry point for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are like the classic 3 white dudes making a podcast. We're not here for a career. We're not here to make a living. We're here because the three of us genuinely have fun talking about movies and making jokes with each other. Mm. And it's just very touching that someone else out there in the real world thought so too. So thank you.
But we definitely don't do this for money. We all very much have other stuff going on. That is like why often episodes come out late, because we got other stuff going on that is sadly more important than this. It's a hobby. And if you want to help us continue that hobby, that's really, really cool of you. And I'm glad that we finally have a Patreon patron that we don't personally know and have known for a decade or more.
And when he subscribed, he said, "Rip the boys. The boys are alive and well."
The boys are alive and well.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. We are all stronger from drinking Lightning Bolt Steven Seagal energy drink from 25 years ago.
This is not an endorsement of Steven Seagal Lightning Bolt energy drink.
No, the endorsement is you probably won't die drinking it. We didn't die drinking it. That's all we can say.
It is.
We are alive and well, coming at you.
When those turtles drank that mutagen, it did turn them into ninjas. That did not happen to every creature that drank the mutagen. When we drank the mutagen, we became even better podcasters than we were before.
We were reborn. We came out of our cocoon into a beautiful... Well, moths come out of cocoons. We came out of our chrysalis into beautiful butterfly podcasters.
Yeah. What's wrong with moths?
You could be... Okay, Hans came out of moth.
Moths are cool.
He came out of a cocoon of moth. I came out
Hans
of
is a moth.
That's personal choice. Mothman. Thank you, Patreon.
We're too close to West Virginia to not be Mothman.
Getting lost in the sauce. Thank you, Patreon subscriber.
Anyway.
Our Patreon subscriber.
Hey, that's not to discount our friends who are also
yes, thank you also to the loyal Patreon subscribers
shout out
who have
to
been
you
around
too.
for a
You know
while.
who you are.
They've been supporters from the very beginning. This is incredible.
and that was funny in its own way. This is just funny in a different way, and we appreciate how it's funny.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A stranger made me laugh.
And I hope we made you laugh with a Patreon where the tiers are everything for... In case you haven't gone to this website...
We can't be the first ones to make that gag.
But in case you haven't gone to the website, the joke is that it's for $1 you get everything, and for $15,000 you get everything plus, because I'm pretty sure that's the lowest and highest amount you can give.
They are.
There is no difference between everything and everything plus. They have the same content. This one just has plus.
Plus.
Everything gives you everything.
And this one gives you plus.
Gives you everything and plus.
And plus.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Yes. You're correct. I'm sorry. You're not missing much if you just do the everything tier at $1.
Just
what
the plus.
You're trying to undersell it now. What are you doing?
There is
You're killing us.
the way you calculate value, there's many different ways you can calculate value. There's like the labor theory of value, whatever. In a way, there is 14,999 more between the two. $14,999 that separates them. But in a very real way, there's not that much that separates them. That is also $14,999 per month, because you will stay subscribed. You will not subscribe for 1 month and then immediately cancel. You will stay subscribed for at least a year. We are like Adobe. If you try to cancel the period, we'll just bill you for half of it regardless.
If you did just subscribe for 1 month, I think that would fund us for like 20 years or something like that.
Yeah. We did say previously, if anybody subscribed to the Everything Plus tier, we would just pay an editor $15,000 a month.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That's the promise we made.
After hosting costs, all of that would just go to the editor, so we do not have to deal with it. It'd be a much more consistent schedule if one person just subscribed to the Everything Plus tier once.
Oh, and if you're subscribed,
way more consistent schedule.
More Patreon content is coming. There is more coming on the way. We have some stuff
currently in the
works.
edits.
Yeah, in the pipeline.
So thank you for listening, dear listeners.
Thank you for listening and paying for everything, and maybe everything plus,
or maybe some plus.
Maybe.
All right, we got it. It's in there somewhere.
4 months earlier.
You eating Cheez-Its right now?
No.
You eating Cheez-Its in your microphone while we're recording our podcast?
The part we're not even putting in the episode.
Ready to
I have to
clap in?
listen to it while I'm editing. It's like
This is a professional operation.
Fight me, bro. We're up.
I just
3 p.m.
need to
flagpole.
understand. This is like
Gloves
the
off.
thing. This is like the joke, right? Always Sunny had a joke about this. You don't eat crackers in the mic when you're recording.
I'm not eating crackers. I'm eating. Oh no! Shit.
That's
They're
a big
snack
box
crackers.
of Cheez-Its.
I am eating baked snack crackers. It is a really. It's a comically large block. It's 2 bags.
Did you get it at Costco? No, Sam's.
That was definitely Sam's Club. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, are we ready to do this?
We are.
Talk about this dumb movie.
We're packing hot dogs for the road.
That's exactly what the nerds want.
A friend got burned.
I see dead.
Hello and welcome back to In Over Our Heads presents M. Night Shyamalan. I am Hans.
I'm Aaron.
I am Zach.
And today we are talking about After Earth.
I guess we are, aren't we?
I knew absolutely nothing about this movie other than it is pretty much universally hated, and after watching it, I can completely understand why, although I have some interesting thoughts about it. So, first thing I want to ask you guys before we get into a plot summary, was this movie plagued by production issues or budget issues or any kind of like
I think this movie was plagued by overscoping. So I read somewhere that apparently the original pitch, Will Smith pitched this movie.
Really?
And the original pitch, from what I read, was the movie that Will Smith pitched was I and my son Jaden Smith go camping and get like lost in the woods, and it's a like survival movie about a father and a son bonding. And that general idea was preserved, but at some point someone decided it should take place in space. And I think that really got in the way of like just an okay idea. Like, so full disclosure for the rest of the episode, I don't like this movie. I think it's really bad. I also feel bad about hating on this movie because it was just kind of supposed to be a father and son bonding thing. Yeah. Like, basically, like, take your son to work day, the movie. In both in the movie, because that's kind of what's going on in the plot of the film, as Hans will summarize in a second, and also just like in real life, because I think Will Smith wanted to share his acting life with his son Jaden, and it got wildly out of control and ballooned into this giant like space adventure, and it didn't work.
Scope creep the movie.
I don't think it worked at all, and I think it's a very common opinion that it didn't work.
The only reason everything about it is so fragmented. Like, they had a lot of really cool ideas, and once it came time to do them, they were like, oh crap, we actually really have to squeeze this into an hour and 40 minutes. How do we do that? And they did the best they could, and it just didn't work.
No.
Because it didn't even feel slow. Like, some of these other movies have felt slow. This one didn't really even feel slow. There was something happening the whole time. It's just what was happening didn't really have anything to do with what happened before it.
No.
Okay.
And I think if we had gotten the father and son go camping and get lost in the woods and have to like bond to survive, I think that would have been theoretically a much better movie than this thing that we got about the world's greatest warrior who gets his superpowers from not emoting. That's not a great way to make a likable character in a movie. Just spoiler alert.
Yeah, his name is also Cypher Rage, which
I think he let his son name him, but that's just a guess.
I don't want
because that sounds like something a 13-year-old boy would come up with. But
maybe. Okay,
I will let Hans get to the summary.
We're in space colony Nova Prime, 1,000-ish years in the future. Will Smith plays Cypher Rage, the best warrior that was ever warriored. And like Aaron said, his whole thing is that they fight these monsters that can track humans because they sense their fear.
They're blind. They're not just can track humans. They're completely blind.
Right.
Other than that,
their only way of tracking humans. They were purpose bred. They were purpose bred to track humans only by sensing their fear. And if you can successfully display no fear, then they can't track you. Even as you're stabbing them to death, they can't find you. It's like the most on the nose thing, and it's just a little silly. So
can I propose a resolution for a second?
A resolution? That
we like cordon off in a section of this episode all the problems with this movie as a science fiction story, because that's going to be all of it. That's the whole thing. No, like I'm going to get done talking about what happens in this movie, and then we're going to get into that, and then the episode's going to end. Because I'm losing my mind over the 1,000-year timeline and the whole fear thing. Not thematically. I mean, it's weird thematically, but also just like as a piece of science fiction, it doesn't make any sense. But Continue with
Yeah.
your plot synopsis.
No, we'll just get through it real quick. Their whole thing, Cypher's son, played by Jaden Smith, Katai, he fails his test to become a ranger. He was all excited about it. His dad comes home. He has to tell him that he failed. The wife comes in and says, hey, you're treating your son like crap. You need to like treat him like your son. Maybe take him for a ride on your next mission it's like I don't remember what the mission was. It wasn't a go fighting mission. It was a go like investigate a research mission or something. So he takes his son on this mission. They pop into an asteroid storm and they crash land onto what turns out to be Earth. It doesn't matter. This is why it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can correct me. I'm sure there was a whole thing
that is what happened.
Aaron's saying he's holding back the critique of this as science fiction.
It doesn't make any sense.
You're right.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't matter.
It is stupid.
Yeah, fair enough. So they crash land on what turns out to be Earth. We'll get into this, but it doesn't matter that it's Earth. The fact that it's Earth doesn't come up at all. It doesn't really make a difference that it's Earth. I was really hoping to see a whole lot of like wrecked old Earth architecture and stuff, and we don't get any of that. We get one shot of what might be a dam, but there's no visual clues to give you any indication about like where they are in the world.
This sounds
what
like
country
you have
this
critiques
dam
of the
is
science
in.
fiction storytelling by this movie.
Anyway,
we have a section.
You're right. Shut up. So you don't see any of that. They crash into a planet. Turns out it's Earth. That doesn't matter. The ship breaks up in two. Their transponder is dead. They have to go to the tail section to get the other transponder that might be working. Will Smith, his legs are broken, so his son has to do it. So he tracks him the whole way there. His son gets through a whole bunch of stuff. Halfway through his journey, his tech that's keeping him in touch with Will Smith breaks, so he has to do the rest on his own. He makes it to the tail section, but they find out that one of these critters that is evolved to kill humans by fear, it was in the tail section and was released from the tail section, and they've been trying to figure out where it is the whole time, and he finally gets this transponder thing, and the critter finds him, and there's this big blowout fight, and he overcomes fear and becomes fearless like his dad and kills the creature. And then they're rescued, and that's the whole thing. And
Fear is the mind killer.
Fear is the mind killer. I'm gonna have to like speed that up.
That got Aaron.
I'm gonna have to double time that explanation because I'm getting bored just listening to myself talk about it. So this movie pissed me off. This movie pissed me off. I like it in concept. I like what they tried to do. What they tried to do didn't work because Aaron, go.
Okay, so this is going to be my corner of why this doesn't work as a piece of science fiction. Because as Zachary alluded to, it's just stealing stuff from other science fiction without any of the things that made it work in that science fiction. So the whole idea of fear is the mind killer, fear is a little death that leads to total oblivion, total annihilation. That's from Dune. That is just ripped straight out of Dune without any of the context of Dune. Fear as the mind killer in Dune has a very specific thematic need to it. And in the lore of the Duneverse, like that is what gives the Bene Gesserit their ability is complete control over themselves. Cypher Rage, his ability to just not feel fear seems more like a psychosis than an actual ability in this movie.
It is. It's his whole character. It's his whole character. He's disconnected from his family. He's disconnected from his son. He doesn't feel emotions. At one point, his son gets poisoned and has to figure out how to use his med kit or whatever to save himself. Passes out. He wakes up and he says to his dad, "Dad, that sucked." And his dad goes, "That is correct." And
well. Okay, it's funny that's the part that stuck out to you because I had a little speculation. I had a theory that I can get into now or I can get in later as it relates to the fear thing.
Can I do some more sci-fi stuff about why it doesn't work? Okay. Also, another thing they stole from a very famous and foundational science fiction text, they stole from Hyperion, the Hyperion Chronicles. The evil alien, which is called an Ursa, which is just Latin for bear. It doesn't look like a bear at all. It picks up its victims and spikes them onto branches of trees. Which one? This is a blind creature. I don't know how it's doing that. It doesn't have eyeballs. They state in the movie it has no way of seeing you unless you are afraid. Then it knows where you are. Therefore, if you're dead, You're not afraid, and it doesn't know where you are. But that's what the evil creature in Hyperion, the Shrike, does. Although it does it for thematic reasons because that tree exists outside of time and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's really, really cool. But it does that for thematic reasons.
Zach and Aaron both have their hands up, like, well, another topic.
I could go on about Hyperion for a couple hours. I'm not going to. It's really, really good, and you should read it. This creature just does that because, I don't know, they wanted to wink at the camera and ask, have you read Hyperion? And then the whole thing about the asteroid storm, that like the inciting incident is there's this asteroid storm that knocks the spaceship out of space and sends them careening toward Earth.
It damages them, so they're forced to land on the nearest planet.
Yeah, they have to hyperdrive boost out of the storm and then crash.
Yeah, which it worked in Star Wars because there's like a mystical force that guides Providence. Here, it's just random chance. There's no magic in this universe. Also, asteroids are the easiest thing in space to avoid.
Well, no, Aaron, but you don't understand. The gravitational cortex will warp, and we can't turn on our engines because the quantum field will displace the conflagration. And
so
they threw enough meaningless terms in there to make it happen.
Will Smith wakes up from a nap, puts his fingers to the wall of the ship, and there's like this moment of, I know something's going on. And so he goes to the... Now, this is the same moment where his son is like testing his ability to fearlessly... to ghost, to
walk without
fearlessly walk near this like monster that this thing is carrying. But that's not what trips him up. What trips him up is that he feels something is like out of whack,
out of phase
in the cosmos. So he goes to the cockpit, not to find his son, who's like tempting death. He goes to the cockpit and says, "Hey, what's going on? It feels like some asteroid thing is about to burst out of." Yeah, some science shit is happening. Asteroid field is about to burst out of nowhere, and the pilots are like, "I don't know about that. I think you're wrong." And he said, "Well, let's hope I'm wrong." And then an asteroid field bursts out.
Well, no, they know where the asteroid field is. Like, it's like several hundred kilometers away. They know where it is.
And then all of a sudden, it's right in front of them, and they say, "Oops, so looks like you were right." And then they have to land on Earth. It's like nonsense. It's garbage.
And then they have to land on Earth. And then my final thing about why this doesn't work as a piece of science fiction. 1,000 years is not even close to long enough for all the crazy stuff that we see on Earth. Like, there are some like regular Earth creatures, which also we have no idea.
Entire evolutionary tracks that don't make sense.
There's like a flying snake at one point. It doesn't make any sense. 1,000 years is not nearly long enough. Also, kind of like Han said, we should have run into like an ancient Walmart or something. Like, there should have been something.
This is my thing. This is my biggest thing. Since we're getting into it, we might as well get into it. My biggest problem with this movie, honest to God, it is very flawed. I could forgive all of it if there were some kind of like some way, something to tell me that yes, this exists on the planet Earth. Like Planet of the Apes. How far into the future does that take place?
It's a long ways.
One of you would know better than me. I
think it depends on which Planet of the Apes you're watching.
Maybe. I'm going to take a second.
What about the original?
The original Planet of the Apes. The year 3,978. 2,006 years after they departed in 1972.
Which one did you say that was?
So for the original Planet of the Apes, it's 2006 years after the astronauts left.
Okay, so the original Planet of the Apes, 2,000 years, and there's still a whole heck of a lot of Earth architecture and Earth, like there's a lot that the whole. I don't want to say the whole point of that movie. I haven't seen the original series or the original trilogy, but I want to say that what everyone knows about Planet of the Apes is the whole point that they drive home at the
Shyamalan twist of Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, the whole twist
the Shyamalan
is
twist.
that wait, that's Earth.
Yeah.
And in this movie, there is nothing to tell you that. Nothing at all. At the beginning, after the ship crashes, and Will Smith tells his son, "Hey, I need you to go to the tail section of the plane, but this planet is really, really dangerous. It's Earth. And that's supposed to be like this big dramatic, like, holy crap, it's Earth. It's super dangerous after 1,000 years. And it just completely falls flat because it doesn't matter.
He could have said
other name of any other fantastical planet.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make any difference.
His
son has to drink these. I'm sorry, Aaron, but I have to get it out of my system. His son has to drink these little like lung fluid enhancer things so he can get the most oxygen out of the air. Yeah, it's just basically a drinkable vape. He has to do these every 24 hours or so that he's out in the world because the air is not suitable for humans. It's only been 1,000 years. Humans have been on this planet for tens of thousands of years, and we've been able to breathe just fine. There's no evolutionary like timeline that can make that happen. That can work out that math. That math ain't mathin'.
And I do have one more thing. The whole planet freezes over every night.
And all the plants are totally cool with it. All
and
green.
Animal, like everyone's fine with that.
It does. It's senseless. It's just it's so frustrating. If they had eliminate the cold, and give us like busted up buildings, give us old wrecked streets, give us anything at all. But there was nothing. You could have substituted everything for this. It wouldn't have made any difference. Could have just been random planet. The fact that it's Earth only makes it worse because there's nothing Earth-like on the planet.
Yeah, it could have been the planet Oogblat, and it would have been exactly the same.
The movie could have been called After Oogblat, and it would have been better for it. The fact that it's Earth makes it worse. And I'm getting angry.
And so, like, also, like, the planet freezing over causes, like, so many problems with this as a piece of science fiction and doesn't factor into the story at all.
No.
It comes up once for like 10 seconds, and then
it throws it away.
And then it doesn't come up again.
So Katai is out ranging. He's on his way. What was it? He has to fight off some monkeys, and in doing so, he breaks two of his little oxygenator things, right? Mm-hmm. And he has to tell his dad that he broke two of the oxygenator things. His dad's like, "No, okay, mission over, mission scrapped. You got to come back. You can't make it to the tail section of the plane without those two." And he says, "No, I can do it." And he just they show a scene. I forgot about this. They show a scene of Will Smith saying, "Okay." Cypher saying, like calculating on his computer wordlessly, not communicating any of this to his son. He shows like a visual on his computer. Calculated route would take 3 and a bit days, and he only has 2 days worth of these breathalyzer things left. But if he jumps off of this big cliff he's standing in front of and squirrel suits and flies to his destination, it could take him 2 days. And that's the whole thing, is that he doesn't want to risk his son's well-being by chancing him jumping off a cliff and squirrel suiting. So he says, "No, come back." And his son says, "No, screw you, Dad," and jumps off the cliff. That was never the plan. He never knew that was an option. It was never explained. We didn't even know that he had squirrel suit training. It just came out of freaking nowhere. His son was like, "No, screw you, Dad," and just like dives off a cliff for no reason.
Also, does not even close to follow the path that you see Will Smith trace on his holographic computer.
It was ridiculous. And then at mid-flight, he runs into a giant eagle. Because of course, and Giant Eagle knocks him out, takes him to...
There's a condor.
A condor. Well, even actual condors in real life that we have here today are not human boy size, 13-year-old boy size. They're big. They're big, but they're not that big.
They're all animals. Is this boy sized or not?
They're big, but they're not 13-year-old boy sized big. So the thing takes him out, hauls him to its nest. He wakes up in the nest. Oh, danger, but not danger like you think. There are these like tiger, jaguar things climbing this 1,000-foot high nest, trying to break in to eat this condor's baby chicks. And he fights off the tigers and then escapes. And then like 20 minutes later, turns out the condor was following him all along. And when he freezes in the freezing cold, when it gets to be nighttime, the condor saves him and drags him somewhere else. And you think, oh, okay, kind of a little bit of setup, kind of a little bit of payoff. But when he comes to and he wakes up, Condor's dead. Oh, Payoff is dead. Payoff is gone. Oh, I hated this movie.
I think that actually
the
sums
more
up
I
the
talk
movie
about
is-
it, the more I don't like this movie.
I think that really sums up the movie. Is kind of a little bit of setup and kind of a little bit of payoff.
Yeah, but then they take that payoff and they rip it out of your cold dead hands. Oh, I hated this. The more I talk about it, you know what? I thought I was like kind of okay with it. I thought, well, this movie was really fragmented and it seems like it had a lot of production issues. And turns out, no, I actually just hated it. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. I have
one more sci-fi thing
to
to be mad about.
Ugh.
They explain so in the previous sci-fi problems I've talked about, you didn't explain it enough. There's one thing that they explained too much, and that's how the Ursas can see you. These evil, like, blind aliens can see you. Say it's the pheromones that you excrete when you're scared, which means that a full bodysuit would make literally anyone invisible to an Ursa.
Well, because that's even in the flashback. That's how he survived. Is his
Yeah,
mom
they actually
puts
do
him
that
this
in the
little,
movie.
They put him in a little kind of like
my God.
A big
what's it
fish
called?
bowl.
Like a fish bowl of plants. There's a term for that.
A terrarium.
A little terrarium, and that's how he survives the attack. His like sister
Yeah.
hides him in there. So I did have the same thought. I'm like, so they don't just every single person in the society doesn't have a little safe house. They don't like have a little pod they can just go into to hide in case of attack.
Like, wouldn't
Gives them a full
fashion
bodysuit.
just be like you wear gloves and stuff, and then everyone would have like a little like plastic bag they can put over their heads in case there's an Ursa attack, and then it doesn't matter how scared you get, like it's fine. Also, just like once you know that you are literally invisible to these creatures as long as you're not scared of them, it would be pretty easy to ghost, I think, for like a skilled soldier to do that.
Right? If you know that their whole thing is that if you aren't afraid of them, they literally cannot see. They can't even sense your existence.
Yeah.
I don't know, pick anything. But like say this glass right here. This piece of glass, this piece of melted sand. This could kill me if I smashed it on the ground and stepped on it and then and like jammed my hands all up on it and laid on it and didn't cover up any of the wounds that it gave me. But as long as I don't smash it on the ground, that won't happen. So I'm not afraid of it. Like what this does, it's senseless. It's just senseless. The more I think about this, the angrier I get.
Use
I'm
a ranged
so
weapon
mad.
instead of a double-bladed sword.
Well, but they were copying Dune, so they had to go sword.
Except in Dune, there's like a whole reason that
There's
they
a whole
have to
reason
use
for that. There's a
swords,
whole reason that projectiles aren't effective
both
against
scientific
people.
and thematic.
Because that is when we first started this movie, I was kind of positive on it. Like the first 10, 20 minutes in, I was like, this is great. It does the classic sci-fi
God.
thing where they
I'm
invent a
mad.
reason why we have to switch back to like blades and swords. And that's great. All kinds of science fiction does that. Star Wars does that. Dune does that. It's fantastic. And then I watched and I'm like, they didn't invent a reason to go back to blades. They just went back to blades.
They just said, hey, blades are pretty cool, right? What if everybody had swords?
There's no reason to 50
Magic
cal
swords
cans
that can
take out one of these
transform into
aliens.
different kinds of hooks.
Which also means they have like metamaterials that can change shape instantly, which would fix like all of their problems.
Again, like the suits they wear that respond to motion, but there's a whole bunch of motion going on. It really just responds to danger. Like he sees animals and the motion detecting suit doesn't detect motion. It's only when there's like one scary baboon.
It's
then it
Frodo's
detects motion.
sword. It's when orcs are nearby, it glows blue. It's not particularly useful, but it's thematic.
That's a Lord of the Rings ripoff.
It's just Sting.
What's funny is I do feel like certain movies invite this type of criticism, and I don't always think this type of criticism is the most interesting way to critique a movie.
No,
I think
that's
here
why I
there's
didn't really
just
want to
so
talk about
many.
it,
It's
except in
just a
its own, like,
shotgun
little
approach.
section.
You can't look at it and not notice one of these little plot holes.
Yeah.
But like A Quiet Place did this. When A Quiet Place came out, all people could talk about was, oh, well, if there's this, if they can just go by the waterfall and be noisy, why don't they just live by the waterfall? Or like, just those kinds of critiques.
Yeah.
But the premise is they can hear you.
Yeah.
I think it's just funny that this one, I think it's just because nobody watched this movie. If people watched this movie, you'd be hearing 10 times the amount of people pointing out these issues as you saw with Quiet Place, because like you said, the only way they see is by detecting the pheromone of scared humans. Like that is just so insanely situational. That like this, like
it's like, just again, like, in Quiet Place, like that's like if you just went online for the month after that movie releases, people being like, wait a minute, how does this work? Wait a minute, this doesn't work. After Earth just has 50 times the amount of that.
Yeah.
But nobody
because like noise is just a thing that happens.
I guarantee if you stop somebody on the street, nobody knows there are fear pheromone detecting aliens in this After Earth movie. Nobody, not a single person.
Until we watched it today.
I did because I watched this shortly after it came out, like a decade ago.
Okay, so how does your experience compare? I have to know because
that was like a decade ago. I didn't like it then. I think I like it less now. It's not good.
I didn't want to hate this movie. I knew everybody hated this movie, and I didn't want to hate this movie. I wanted to take a step back and think on it. And the more I think on it, and the more we talk about it, the more I hate this movie. I don't like that. This feels so Seagal-like. I don't like this feeling. Ugh.
So I have a theory and I have a question.
Okay.
Because the way you touched on this before, but the way they characterize Will Smith's character.
Yeah. Cypher Rage.
What's his rage? Cypher Rage, Jesus Christ. The way they characterize Cypher Rage. Hollywood, especially in the last like 2 decades or so, has a very poor track record, especially weirdly enough in science fiction, of like how it tries to depict like autism or the autism spectrum. Like you saw this just a couple years later after this came out, like in The Predator, in like the reboot of like the Predator franchise, the Shane Black Predator. They have this kid and they're basically like, oh, actually autism is like a superpower. It's like the next evolutionary step of humans. And it's like really weird and it doesn't work at all. Yeah. And it's really tacky. What I want to know, because weirdly enough, you touched on an example that I think is applicable. I think it was Hans, whenever you say like, when he's like, oh, this sucks. And his dad is like, oh, that is correct. Yeah. Like you touched on that one. The one that really stuck out to me is when it's cutting to a flashback and it's like showing that he's like away on these missions all the time. So he's not there for his family. And his kid's like, hey, it's my birthday. Like we're on this video call. We're on the Zoom call. Can you help me blow out the candles? And he's like, I am 1,000 light years away. Like I cannot blow into this and I cannot blow out the candles. And they're like, come on, dad, just blow on it. And he's like, that would do nothing. I want to know if at some point in the script writing process, it's like, oh, the reason he was able to invent ghosting is because his character just has like super autism. And then they were like, ooh, that's too tacky even for this movie and took it out. I want to know if that's somewhere in the ideation that factored in.
So,
because that feels like a thing Hollywood would do.
So I'm going to go the exact opposite direction.
Okay, let's go.
Here's why I understand what you're saying, but here's why you're just 100% wrong.
No, so I think
classic Aaron.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. That's why this trio works. I think that scene was for me one of the very few scenes that worked because I think it was Will Smith Cypher Rage at his most human. I think what this scene was going for, and people's mileage will vary on whether it succeeded on this, was that Cypher Rage is fearless when it comes to fighting aliens, but super self-conscious. So he's constantly looking at the soldiers next to him in like the space plane, and he doesn't want to do like a childish thing like blow on a video screen to blow out candles on his birthday cake. That seems like a childish thing for him to do. And so he's like embarrassed to do that. Here's a caveat on everything I just said. That goes nowhere. That idea isn't developed anywhere.
It's only that scene.
So you took Will Smith, an objectively very good actor, and then told him you're not allowed to emote except in like 3 scenes where you're either angry or, I would argue in this scene, a little embarrassed. Other than that, you get no emotions. Those are your only emotions.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what that scene was going for. I don't think it achieved it super well, mostly because that wasn't like a theme in the movie. Cypher Rage learned nothing. He didn't develop as a character in the movie. I don't think...
Like, they don't save the day because he learns how to more, personally relate to his son.
No, actually, Katai saves the day because he learns to blindly obey his father. And become emotionless like his dad.
I think that's a fair
what
point.
Saves the day.
I think that's a fair point.
It's a
except
really
I do
bad
feel
lesson,
like
huh?
Yeah.
my proposition was this movie tries to make a superpower out of his inability to relate to humans. And you're like, no, Zach, I disagree with you. He feels really awkward and uncomfortable around humans everywhere except the battlefield. Like, I don't think you're actually 100% 180 flipped from what I said.
Well, no, I think my point is
You're like, oh, he's really uncomfortable doing human emotions in front of his coworkers. And he's just.
well, no, I think he's uncomfortable appearing childish in front of his coworkers, not showing human emotions, because the other soldiers show human emotions very regularly.
Yeah.
They joke around. You see them like shooting the breeze with each other, and they make jokes, and they get concerned about things without being fearful. They're like normal human beings in this movie. Most of the other soldiers that you see, it's really just Cypher Age, and he's like really he wants to appear strong in front. He also has like this mythos about him that he wants to maintain, and his family loves him a whole lot.
Yeah.
And go out of their way to
Can't shut
express
up about
affection
him. They
for
love
him
him so much.
I'm gonna have to agree with Aaron on that, and I don't think that's saying that you're wrong, Zach, because you're.
Well, to be fair, mine was. I have a wild speculative theory. I want to know if there's any grounding for it.
Yeah.
That was not. This is my definitive take on what the movie is trying to accomplish.
No, I get
This is,
you,
I
but
think they might have
Aaron's-
had an inkling of this, and then they said, "Ooh, we should remove that. That's bad."
I get you, but Aaron's definitely right, because it's funny, because he does definitely in that scene in particular, he does seem a lot more human than everywhere else, because he's like literally jam packed in like with soldiers on either side of him while he's on a video call. And all of these people throughout the entire movie have like the utmost reverence for this guy. Like they all respect him to the nth degree, and he's still like, I don't want to like blow on the video feed on my little iPad, because that seems a little like
bendy iPad.
Yeah, like that's
fabric
and then
iPad.
he ends up doing it anyway. He bends to his family, and they're all excited about it.
It's
like,
the most
"Oh, Dad."
human moment we get through the whole thing.
It really is. Like, that's probably the best scene of the whole movie.
Except it goes nowhere.
Except it goes nowhere.
Yeah, I don't think it's the best scene.
Those
because it
ideas
has
are not
nothing to do with
developed
the
at
rest
all.
of the movie.
So here is my script doctor. It's gigantic,
Script doctor.
huge, very big
Take
changes.
out all the science fiction.
But yeah, don't make it a science fiction. Don't do that. I don't know whose idea that was. Don't do that. Go back to the original. From what I've read, the original Will Smith idea. It's just father and son going out into the wilderness. Okay, you can make military dad, who's like real hard, and he's not very emotional. That's fine. And then Jaden plays his son, who like wants to emulate his father, but also has a lot more emotionality to him than his dad. Dad is incapacitated, and son has to take care of him, and they have to learn from each other. So son has to learn like respect for his father, like a healthy respect for his father, and learning like skills from his father. But his father has to learn to actually like emote and love his son and not treat him as a soldier. So like throughout most of the movie, Will Smith does not refer to his son by his name or as son. He refers to him
Calls
as
him Ranger.
cadet.
No, yeah.
He's not a ranger.
He's not a ranger.
He's not a
cadet.
ranger.
He refers to
He
him
calls
as
him Ranger
cadet
towards the ends of the movie, I
through a
guess.
significant portion of the movie. He refers to him by his rank
Yeah.
and doesn't treat him as a son. And I think that could have been an interesting idea if we saw like a shift from beginning to end. But at the end of the movie, Will Smith stands up and like salutes his son and continues to treat him as military personnel. Whereas his son like hugs him, and Will Smith hugs him back. But it doesn't feel like we got closure on that idea. Like Will didn't have to change. Cypher Rage didn't have to change as a character. There wasn't a mutual learning.
The movie as it exists very much relies on you're more invested in Jaden Smith like growing into the ranger he wants to be. Even though at the end he says, I don't want to be a ranger anymore. But like still he shows that he can.
Yeah.
See, honestly, I feel like my favorite, the part, not even the best scene in the movie, but whenever at the end they go through all this and they salute and they hug, and then, it's like, oh, he's finally like proved himself as a ranger, and he's just like, I want to work with mom, and Will Smith says like, I do too. Like that was that was
That was good
for me.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Actually, you got me with that one.
And that looked like, that was Will Smith acting. He got a chance to act for a second.
You're like, oh, this guy is charisma. Oh, okay. When he's allowed to.
Oh, one of the most likable people in Hollywood. I maybe not make him an unfeeling monster. Maybe work with his strengths as an actor, and that he's very approachable and likable. Like the previous movie he did with Jaden. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of it. Pursuit of Happiness. That was the whole movie. Pursuit of Happiness. Fantastic. Was look at how likable Will Smith is.
Look at how much he cares about his son.
Yeah. And then they go and do this, and it's the exact opposite. Why do that? Look at how unlikable he is, but also how weirdly revered he is and how much he doesn't like his son. Like, I got vibes throughout the movie that he was using his son as a tool. That, like, at certain points when Kitai, Jaden Smith, was failing in his mission and, like, hit major setbacks, and Cypher Rage, I can't get over these names. They're so dumb. It's very 2000s. Tells him to come back. It's more like he's just resigned himself to his own fate. And it's like, well, I guess the tool that I have out there isn't good enough to save me. So, okay, I guess we're done here. And it was just Cypher Rage giving up. Because like it felt very much like through most of the movie that Dad was just using Son as a tool, like a commanding officer would use a soldier, not like a father-son relationship. He wasn't really caring for Kitai's well-being, but was just disappointed that he wasn't able to be a good soldier guy.
The only moment that we get that is when after his like backpack breaks and he loses communication with his dad. Mm-hmm. Will Smith opens up the communicator in the plane and says, "This is Cypher Rage. I'm leaving a message for my wife. I have lost contact with our son." End message. Yeah. That's it. Like,
that got me.
This was the moment. This was the moment for there to be some kind of like feeling, some kind of remorse, some kind of like, God, why did I let this happen? No, I have lost contact with our son. Over. Next scene. Why?
Similarly, it's very valid to be frustrated with the fact that this movie is like, let's cast like one of the most likable, charismatic, like leading figures in modern movie history and make him like a cold, unfeeling, unemotive, everything. Similarly, as we've touched on here, the movie poster has Jaden and Will Smith together. This is the Jaden and Will Smith movie. It's all Jaden and Will Smith, Jaden and Will Smith, Jaden and Will Smith. Will Smith is just sitting down, locked in the ship the entire time.
As
soon as I realize, I'm like,
movie.
They're going to crash land and the two of them have to survive together. And it's Jaden and Will Smith. They're just in a phone call the whole time. Jaden Smith is running around alone in the woods and Will Smith is sitting like in a chair in the crash landed ship the entire movie.
I did not. I thought it was going to be exactly what you said. I thought that they were going to both be together out in the wilderness. That's what they
advertised the movie.
Hey, can I do something real quick?
Yeah.
I'm about to pee my pants. Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah, no, it's right very Seagal in that way.
Yeah, I thought
he's like, oh, the young guy will do all the action, and I'll sit here. And I'll tell him what to do, and you better do it my way or the highway,
or else.
Roger, Delta Overwatch.
I thought the exact same thing. Very, very late era Steven Seagal, and I.
Why did they lock him into this thing?
It's so upsetting. It is so upsetting that I can draw that parallel here.
Well, because imagine if it's the two of them.
Very frustrating.
If it's the two of them, they get to the end and they confront the monster. And obviously Will Smith knows how to ghost. So he's just like, oh no, I can ghost, but my son, I can't save my son. Like, it's going after him. He needs to ghost. And then they have a moment and then, they can lock eyes. And he's like, ooh, you ghosted just like me.
Yeah.
I respect you now. You're a ranger.
Oh, dude.
Instead of...
I wanted to not hate this movie. I wanted to look at it from 10 feet back and think, okay, this has some problems, but there are some redeeming points, and maybe it doesn't deserve all of the hate that it got. And I hate this movie.
Also, at the end...
I hate it. I hate it.
At the end, they can't communicate because he's in you're in a black zone. We don't have good signal. So, but Will Smith can still get high definition video and still hear everything his son's doing. He just can't send audio to Jaden Smith.
It's not how it works. Not how it works.
He can still get full 3D scans of every cavern of the volcano Jaden Smith is walking on top of, but he can't be heard. Everything else works.
This is going to be really difficult to edit with Aaron not here.
No, it's fine. It's just us talking.
Just us talking. Yeah, it's real interesting.
Like the entire time I'm watching, I'm like, but the thing is, he's not even doing like Houston in the blind. I'm still recording. If you hear me anytime now, please. He's just like talking to himself like a frustrated dad watching football. He's just like, you need to jump up the thing. You need to do the thing. Like, you need to take a knee. You need to go.
I'm tired of talking about this movie.
Well, I did. So I had my theory, and then I had my question. Can I ask my question?
Yes, please ask your question.
It's a very quick question. The budget listed for this movie is $130 million.
Which is pretty...
How?
It's all CGI. All of the CGI.
It's very bad CGI that isn't there for most of the movie.
There are tons of CGI animals and backgrounds and stuff. I think...
They could have put maybe a ruined Empire State Building in there somewhere.
I think most of this movie was filmed on like a blue screen lot.
Well, it's just okay because when I was watching this, especially so the movie is like on Sci-Fi Colony, and then it's on After Earth, and then it's like back on like ship. Like those are the three settings. On Sci-Fi Colony, crazy Star Wars prequel energy. Like I was watching this, I have not felt vibes. I have not felt these vibes since I last watched Star Wars, like episode 2. Like every scene, I'm just like, this feels like a Star Wars prequel. It looks, feels, smells, tastes like a Star Wars prequel.
Yeah.
And then 85% of the movie is Jaden Smith running around alone in the woods.
Yeah.
Just kind of filmed on a GoPro, just like, hey, just go run through the woods for an hour. Go at it, champ. And then the movie ends. And the CGI that is present isn't very good. So how 130 million?
I understand what you're saying, but when he's running through the woods, he's running up and down like crashed redwood tree logs. It's all CGI. The whole thing is CGI. The whole forest is CGI.
This was filmed.
And you want to know the greatest?
This was filmed in the California redwoods.
Yeah, but he's not running around on crashed like that.
But that should. But it's not like they're constructing the entire scene.
It could have been filmed there, but those sets were so obviously CGI. Like you said, it wasn't very good. It's obviously CGI. Like the.
Well, so I guess my question isn't so how. I guess my question is why. If you're going to make a movie that's 90% Jaden Smith running around the woods, why is that a $130 million movie?
I think part of it. So here's just part of it. And this is something that I had to like research and look into because I was very confused by it. I noticed as I was watching this movie how many different super complex costumes exist in this movie. The head costume designer, Amy Westcott, who, I'm very sorry to say this, Amy, costume design for this movie was not good. And I mean that in like... Not just design, but like the construction of like the military uniforms was bad. Like there were like wrinkles in Will Smith's dress whites and like weird creases and like uneven seams on the zip. It was weird, like that some of it was badly made. Amy Westcott is a good costume designer because I didn't want to make this I looked this up because I didn't want to make this criticism unless I could say something good about her. She did the costumes for like Amazon's Fallout TV show. She was the head costume designer for that.
Oh, really?
She did Black Swan.
Oh, those are great costumes.
Gorgeous costumes in Black Swan. She did The Visit, which I in that episode I commented on the costumes in The Visit. She's a very accomplished costume designer. She knows what she's doing. But like she did Black Swan before this. But like I don't know, in this movie there were so many costumes. Everyone has like 10 different costume changes and a lot of them are like super super complex and they just weren't super well made. A lot of them were not super well made. Like there are weird gaps and uneven seams and like wrinkles and stuff. Like it's weird how bad they are. And the sets, a lot of the physical sets are super complex. Like all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And so I think a lot of money went into that too. I don't know how to come up with $130 million. That's
like, because I had to look this up. Star Wars Episode 3, if we're going to talk about a movie, just like, basically all the CGI and everything, $113 million.
Huh.
And this movie, like I said, 90% of the runtime is just random, unconnected shots of Jaden Smith running through the woods. So yeah, I'm sure you can just vomit $1 million per minute of CGI onto every frame. Why come? Why how? Who win?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
This feels like shady. This feels like some kind of money laundering operation.
That's the more we talk about it, the more Seagal-like it gets.
Yeah, this is the $50 million Seagal movie made on a GoPro.
Can we? I would like to move it on if we don't have any more points.
No, the last point I wanted to make was about Amy Westcott, who is a good costume designer. These are just bad costumes in this movie. I specifically bothered me.
She was costume designer on Wolves too. Did either of you watch that?
No,
no one did.
I know no one did. It wasn't like great, but I liked it, and the costumes were excellent. Anyway, I'd like to move it on. M. Night Shyamalan. I said that really badly. This does not feel like one of his movies.
Not at all.
Not even a little bit.
Not even
remotely. At all.
Less than Wayward Pines, which we did not think felt like a M. Night Shyamalan thing.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say there was not a twist.
No.
Okay, I will say though, we criticized the fact that this took place on Earth. I very easily could see a version of this movie. I mean, it couldn't be called After Earth, duh. But this feels like the type of thing they would crash land and try to make a twist out of. Oh, it is Earth the whole time.
Right, but but
they didn't.
Oh my god! Because we talked about this. This movie, all it does is steal things from other sci-fi movies. They could have stolen that from Planet of the Apes. They could have. They could have made that work. That could have been the twist, but they didn't.
If this was the movie, if this movie had a Shyamalan twist, the Shyamalan twist would be, oh, it was on Earth the whole. Oh, this is what Earth is like now.
Which would be like the laziest Shyamalan twist.
It is the laziest possible
it would be, but,
twist you could do.
But it would have been something. It would have been something, Aaron. This movie, every time they had something in their grasp and someone said, nah, let's not. And
there were no hallmarks of a Shyamalan movie. It wasn't creepy at all. No cameo. No uncomfortable close-ups.
There is a focus on a child actor.
There's a focus on a child actor.
But that's because that's a Will Smith movie, not a Shyamalan choice.
Yeah. Although, I don't know how Shyamalan got chosen for this, to direct this.
I don't either. This does not have his fingerprints on it at all.
He did co-write it. He directed and co-wrote, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Well, again, because allegedly, I don't see the Shyamalan on this.
Yeah, I don't see his impact on this at all.
No, it just doesn't. From what we've seen so far, this does not feel like a Shyamalan movie.
I have some bad news for you.
What?
Because the next thing
is The Last Airbender.
Get ready for this feeling to continue.
Oh boy, good stuff.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen that one. That's before I knew to look for whether something had a Shyamalan feel to it, but
yeah. I think actually, I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen Shyamalan's Last Airbender. But I think it might have a little bit more of a Shyamalan flavor to it. But this, you're right, if someone told me Shyamalan had actually nothing to do with this and they just put his name on it, I would 100% believe you.
Okay, actually, so I do have an answer.
Oh.
A month after the release of The Last Airbender, Smith contacted M. Night Shyamalan to wish him a happy birthday for his 40th birthday and persuade him to direct his film along with his son Jaden as the star. So Will Smith personally reached out to ask Shyamalan to direct this idea he had about me and my kid get lost in the woods.
After seeing Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Impressed with the script, he officially made this project, which was then titled 1000 AE, his next directorial effort, and quietly shelved his own secret untitled project with Bruce Willis, Bradley Cooper, and Gwyneth Paltrow loosely attached. I would have rather seen that movie.
I want to hear more about that.
Nope. Didn't happen.
This was a...
I'm sorry, Will Smith. You're a very talented actor, but man...
This was intended to be the first
They didn't give you the opportunity to be a talented actor in this movie.
Did you know that this was intended to be the first in a trilogy?
Wow. No, I did not.
How would this be a trilogy? What about this is continuable?
Will Smith spends most of this movie like falling asleep from painkillers.
At the end of he doesn't take the painkillers because he doesn't want to fall asleep. He almost falls asleep because he's losing like just a ton of blood. At the end of this movie, the son says, "I don't want to be a ranger. I want to work with mom." And the dad says, "Yeah, me too." Movie end. What's the next movie gonna be? Them both doing administrative work in like the corporate headquarters?
This was I think when they were still writing the scripts. They probably wrote the ending when then they said it's not going to be a trilogy.
This is not going to go anywhere.
Like the first 90% is
so.
leading up to the trilogy of him and his dad killing all these aliens to save the human race. And then they said, we're not going to do that. You're getting desk work.
Ender's Game.
This is very Ender's Game. That kid is very precocious and very much is the key to humanity's survival.
Yeah.
Should we,
Did you know that this was the first film from Sony to be shot and presented? The first film from Sony to be shot and presented in the emerging 4K digital format.
Ooh.
Really? Oh, that's a shame.
Maybe that was part of the expense.
Yeah?
They didn't know. They didn't know how much it would cost.
I mean, those would have been new cameras. That was new technology.
Do you want to instantly date this movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
The estimated worldwide marketing budget was approximately $100 million in addition to the $130 million budget to produce the film. Initial marketing began online with a campaign on Facebook and Google+.
Ooh. Ooh.
The trailer featured the menu. An official trailer was broadcast in May of 2013. The trailer featured the menu music of the video game Deus Ex Human Revolution.
I didn't ask for these sick robot arms.
They spent $100 million on the marketing, but they said we're just going to reuse this video game menu music. Menu music.
Wait. Is Deus Ex Human Revolution? Is that the?
Yes.
Is that the one? That's the one from the video?
Sunglasses.
The best friends play video.
How could anybody be so cruel and thoughtless? Yes, that one.
Okay. Oh, dear listener, let's take a quick pause.
No, this part's going to get edited out.
Pause. No. Pause the podcast. I need you to go and Google Best Friends Play Deus Ex Human Revolution and watch the last 30 seconds.
We can put the link in the description.
I also need you to go watch H Bomber Guy's 3.5 hour video essay. Deus Ex Human Revolution is fine.
I also need you to go and watch the film Nickel Boys because Sarah and I just sat and watched almost all of the Best Picture nominated films for this year, and most of them kind of okay, not that great. Nickel Boys was fantastic. If you're going to watch one Best Picture nominated movie for the 2024 film year, you should watch Nickel Boys. Maybe I'm Still Here. We didn't get to I'm Still Here yet. We watched 8 out of the 10, which is more than the average member of the Academy. So I would say watch Dune Part 2. Actually, that's more relevant.
Boom,
you should
roasted.
watch Dune and Dune Part 2. This was a bad science fiction movie. This rips off Dune and Dune Part 2. I'm going to officially recommend Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2 as my watch instead. Or Nickel Boys, which has nothing to do with anything.
Oh, by the way, everyone's Letterboxd review? I gave it 1.5 stars.
Hans?
No, I'm sorry. Wait. What is Sarah referring to?
Oh, she came up here and the dog started barking and was making some noise. You might have to edit that out. But she was trying to come here to chime in and say that sorry for the interruption with the barking dogs. I just wanted to say that the movie was a waste of time. And then all capital letters, boring.
So was she talking about After Earth is my question.
After Earth? Yes. She wanted to say that because she watched this with me. She thought it was boring. Waste of time. Which, yes.
So we're just sitting here talking, and we get a message from Sarah. I just wanted to interject and say that this movie sucked. That's awesome. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
No, this really feels like
it.
This movie really has the vibe of this could have been whenever you go on YouTube and it's a YouTube, not original, but a YouTube hosted 10-minute long science fiction short film. And there's a lot of pretty good ones of those. This is a whole genre. It's just the internet fan, low budget. This had the look, feeling, vibe of that and just stretched across to be an hour and 40 minutes when it could have been a 20-minute. If this was uploaded on YouTube and was 20 minutes long, and it was like, one of that, I don't know how to describe it other than that type of YouTube science fiction, you'd be like, oh, it's pretty good. Like, oh, I'll share that with my friends. That should have like 20 million views on YouTube.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be an hour and 40-minute theatrical IMAX film.
No.
But really, a lot of the effects have that vibe where you're like, this isn't terrible. This isn't laughably bad, but it's not good.
Yeah.
They kept showing the shot of Jaden Smith's sister, played by Zoe Kravitz. Like, they kept showing her dying and the monster just picking her up and throwing her against the wall. And like the 5th time you see it, at that point, like every weird animation physics issue with that render of that shot, like it becomes really apparent at that point. Like, ooh, that looks really janky. Thanks for showing that to me a 5th time. Thanks.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to say about this movie.
Yeah,
so 1.5 stars on Letterboxd. I don't know if I said that.
I gave it 1.5 stars. Don't watch it.
I'd probably agree. 1.5 stars.
What should you watch instead?
I would go read Hyperion instead.
Can't recommend books. This is movies, nerd.
Okay. Can I recommend a science fiction short film instead?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then Amazon's Secret Level, but just the episode about Warhammer.
Oh, I should have known. I should have guessed.
It's like 12 minutes long, and it goes hard.
I mentioned Wolves. It has nothing to do with this, but it was a really cute movie, and I liked it. It wasn't a great movie, but it was a pretty good movie.
Can you at least give us a science fiction recommendation?
I mean, you already said Dune and Duned.
And you should also go watch 1984 David Lynch Dune. I'm claiming that. All the Dunes. You should watch the sci-fi series Dune, Children of Dune. Watch the documentary about Jodorowsky's Dune.
Pick a Dune.
Go watch Shin Godzilla. It's a wild ride.
Okay.
That's not the spirit of the prompt, but okay.
I don't know, Zach.
Watch Galaxy Quest.
I don't have anything.
Go watch Galaxy Quest.
I did just buy Galaxy
It's on
Quest.
sale.
It's on sale on
Blu-ray's on
Amazon.
sale at the time of recording. Most certainly not at the time of listening. So that's useless for you, but
as soon as you sent that link, I hit the buy it now. I was like, I need that. Need that in my library.
You like hot dogs, right?
We're like podcasters or something.
We're like
so
critics
freaking
of
good
the
at this.
intelligentsia.
Yeah.
We did just apply for Rotten Tomatoes to become critics on Rotten Tomatoes for our heads, and I'm 98% sure we're gonna get rejected like immediately.
That's fine. That means there's a 2% chance we're gonna get it.
Yeah, I feel like that's what is it? Interstellar. Whenever they're just like, if you do this, there's like a 50% chance your helmet's gonna burst, and he's like, that's better odds than I've had for the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that. There's a 98% chance of failure. 2% is better odds than I ever thought.
Yeah.
Dang.
it. You know what?
What?
Go watch Interstellar. Go watch The Martian. Go watch some Matt Damon trapped
like
in
some
space.
good, The Martian. Watch like some hard sci-fi.
Yeah, watch The Martian. That's a good ass movie. If you're traveling for work and you're at a hotel and it's like 11:45 p.m. there right now, turn on FX. The Martian is on. Watch The Martian.